on television.
Hi, how are you?
Where do I sit?
Right here.
Right here.
Okay.
We're all asking each other, what is the mystique that the Gabor family has had for so long, and why is the world always so interested in what the Gabor family is doing?
I wish they weren't.
Do you? Do you mean that?
Oh my God, after the last police episode of my life.
Yeah.
I wish they weren't so much into them. I wish they would not misquote me all the time either. Yeah.
Do they?
Well, the press is unbelievable.
It's interesting to me. Do you want the world to see you one way?
No. I started my career, I was a little housewife with a baby, 6 weeks old. My husband, George Sanders, went to London, and he said to me, George, you can't come with me, you spoil my fun, after I left Conrad Hilton, one of the richest men in the country, to marry him. And so his brother, who was always jealous of him, like all brothers, said, why don't you come with me on a talk show? And I went to a talk show. Next day I got a contract with CBS and a contract with MGM and became in a month a star.
Just like that?
Yeah, because I played the stupid dumb blonde, and Americans love dumb blondes. American man likes a dumb blonde. If you're dumb, you can get every man you want.
She's pointing to you.
But she's blonde.
Not pointing to me.
No, she's blonde. That's why Mrs. Trump showed herself she's not so dumb anymore, so she's not going to get him back. If she would have played dumb, she could have got him back.
You think so?
Oh, I know so well. I got myself 8 husbands playing dumb.
I know. 8. How do you, did you ever think you were going to be married this many times?
No, because I was so afraid I'd never get married. At 15, I married in Turkey. Yeah. Then at 17, Conrad Hilton. I always thought it'd last forever, but men are so impossible, we all know it. A man...
I have no comment on that.
A man has to be faithful, or I go. I don't want alimony.
Is that why you broke up with your husband? Because they weren't faithful?
The Turk, I never really was married to him. Only I was sort of married, but I never even had an affair with him, because it was communism, Nazism, Americans bombing us. Father wanted me out of the country, and was father's friend. Then when I came to America, I sat next to a great, big, gorgeous cowboy on a party. I was 2 weeks in America. That was Conrad Hilton. And he married me in 2 weeks, mainly because I couldn't speak good English yet and I couldn't talk to him. And men love that. They like a dumb woman who can't say nothing. And then, of course, I fell mad in love with George Sanders. And I proposed to him and he married me.
You proposed to him?
I proposed to all of my husbands in the end.
He said something very interesting about you. And
who can wait until a man makes up his mind?
George Sanders said, she's the only lady who's a real gentleman.
Yeah.
Why did he say that about you?
Because I am a gentleman. Because when I say my word, if I say to you now, you can have these earrings, which I won't say because I just bought them, but if I would say it, you could have them.
Really?
Well,
can I have some?
No, I just said it. You all have dangling gold earrings. I got this just in Switzerland.
They're nice.
They're
nice.
Yeah.
You also said something very interesting.
I said so many nonsense.
Now, this is a good thing. You said with all of your marriages that you always felt lonely, that you were alone.
I was alone with someone. Not now, thank God. With Hilton, well, I was a child. He was 61, I was 17. He left me with his sons, who were older than me. With the other husbands, I don't remember. And who wants to remember husbands like that? And George Sanders, I adored and loved, but he was always in the studio. And while I left Conrad Hilton with a 6-week-old child without alimony and child support, he started to flirt with Marilyn Monroe. They made a picture all about Eve. And I said to him once, you know, Georgie, I left Conrad for you, and I liked Conrad, but of course I was madly, stupidly in love with George. I said, why do you have to be always with Marilyn Monroe, having lunch in her 20s? My dear, he said, that poor girl is so lonely, but she knew how to play. She was always lonely, but she never knew how to keep a man. To get a man is easy. It's a nothing.
How do you get a man?
Don't tell me you don't know how to get a man.
Well, I'm just curious.
I tell you how you get a man. Play naive. Listen to every word he says. Tell him every person how great he is, how wonderful he is. If he's not good in bed, tell him he's the best.
But how do you sustain that? Isn't it hard?
Well,
because that's not...
I don't get a man like that. I get a man I want. And then if I get disappointment, I say goodbye, good luck.
Really?
Well, of
now,
course.
your husband now
is wonderful.
Is wonderful. And he says, and you say about yourself that you're volatile and you're demanding.
I'm not demanding.
You're not?
I cook in the morning. I look after the man. I'm not demanding.
Do you fight a lot?
Frederick and I? All the time.
All the time.
But you have to fight, otherwise you can't make up. And if you don't make up, then the marriage is boring.
See, this is a theory I don't know.
You see, darling, if you're just a nice cook all the time, say yes, and after a while, he gets bored and you get bored. And then that's the end of my marriages because I don't stay if I'm bored. You have to keep him alive. And we fight.
What do you fight about?
Everything. The dogs, the horses, the ranch, the house. But we always make up. In France, they say you always have to make up in the evening, and that's why you have to have a big, large bed. So not two beds in the house, because if you're in the bed in the evening, you have to make up.
Well, we're going to
And
talk...
if that man doesn't want to make up with you, then you leave him anyhow.
Well, we're going to leave, but just for a moment, because when we return, we'll learn more about Zsa Zsa's love affair with the forest. So come back.
We're back talking with a woman who gives a hoot, Zsa Zsa Gabor. Show everybody this.
Now, this
Hold
is now
up.
for against pollution. Let me see how big you are, because I just gave one for Marsha Warfield, and she was that big. She loved it. I measured
wear
her
it?
boobs first. Oh, yeah, she had it on.
Now, to get
That's
this
against
T-shirt,
pollution.
we just, it's P.O. Box 1, Hollywood, California.
Right.
Give a hoot, don't pollute.
Now,
Yeah,
how did you get involved with this?
Because, first of all, the judge, who was very unfair to me, said, really unfair, guys, believe it or not, he was unfair. He didn't like me.
Is there anyone in America who does not know what we're talking about, just in case it was a
About the
incident?
policeman who beat me up. And he did beat me up, guys, and turned my arms. He really beat, he didn't like that I had the ring, he didn't like my corniche. Anyhow.
And you slapped him. And
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't?
I had a diamond bracelet on, and he put his hand in my car and pulled me out and pushed the diamond in here. That's his officer. He was gorgeous. He's the best-looking man. He's the best specimen of the... I said, officer, you're hurting me, and you're so handsome. So he pulled me out, and he kept on hurting me. So I, self-defense, done that. And then he turned all my arms, put handcuffs on me, horrible handcuffs. Then he took my head and hit it to the car, and he kicked me. And made me sit down on the street, on the sidewalk. And I had a terribly short skirt. I just came back from Rome. I bought a beautiful, short, all-allowed dress, which I had for a luncheon party. And the skirt went up, and I had these handcuffs on Well, it was the most embarrassing moment of my life. Anyhow, the judge punished me, of course, because you can't fight City Hall. And the policeman is so gorgeous, everybody's in love with him there. He's really so beautiful. I kept on smiling at him, and my husband says, don't you dare look at the terrible man. He says, but he's so good looking. He's jealous of him. I like
with you had to do community service.
Under 20 hours, I had to do it with wonderful people. Lou Cap, you saw some
Homeless women,
black ladies, Vera Davis, the most wonderful people. As a matter of fact, I hired 2 ladies, they're working for me now. And I saw how that side of the world lives. And so then we decided we are also going to work for pollution, because let's face it, guys, if we can't inhale fresh air, then we're all going to look ugly and tired, and who the hell wants to look ugly and tired? So we have to have clean air.
Besides the fact we'll be dead.
That's how
That's true, but I'd rather be dead. I'd rather be dead than being ugly and tired.
Would you ever, in your wildest imaginings, connect this woman with this? It's so strange
It's very
to me.
cute. Why is it say?
I don't know.
It's a why. Everybody thinks I'm the dumb blonde I'm playing.
I don't think you're dumb at
I
all.
never have been dumb blonde, but it sells like hotcake on television. They love me to be dumb. You know how I became famous? On the very first television show, a woman wrote in and said, Zsa Zsa, what shall I do? I'm breaking up my engagement. Shall I give back the ring? So I looked in the camera and says, by all means, give back the ring, but keep the stone. That's how I got famous.
Now, you just did a guest spot on City,
Yes,
right?
Oh, I love this Valerie Harper. What a wonderful, great lady.
She's been here, too. She's very
I love her.
Yeah.
She's more than nice. She's brilliant, talented, and a pleasure to work with.
Now, we have a little clip. Let's show
Oh, my God, I
because
didn't
it's going to air today. When this show airs, so
because
will
I
yours
just
too.
done it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a
Let me
look,
look at it.
everybody.
If I'm not photographed well, I faint.
No
And
joke.
we cannot sue you, and we cannot confiscate your tanker. We have to turn it back over to you, just as soon as we finish our report about the spill.
A report?
Oh, yes. You know, one of those slow, plodding, inefficient, endless government reports.
You rang?
This is our only tanker. If you take it away, we are going to be wiped out.
Ah, That'll be noted in the report. Do you swim?
All right, we are going to pay for the cleanup. There's something about a man in a uniform.
Fun.
That was a glue.
Yeah.
Glue. You know, the scene is that I have this tanker of blah, and I'm a little bit like Mrs. Trump. I have a pink tanker, and there's a hole in it, and the oil comes out of it. It's purple, of course, because it's hair oil. And I don't know, I cleaned it up, and so they put something all over me, that purple thing. The dress is actually gorgeous. They ruined this dress. They had two. Anyway, it was hard work, but it was worth it. That goo was like slime on me, cold and horrible. It's a beautiful pink dress.
Do you remember Hollywood being better or worse than show business is today?
Well, I am in
the
show
glamour.
business now 25 years. And I was on a contract at MGM for a short while, and I worked in London. And you see, I always grew up my life. I was happily married with George Sanders, so I met in London while I was making Moulin Rouge, Ruby Rosa. And nobody in America or Europe could refuse, how do you call that? You could not resist that man. So Barbara Hutton, Doris Duke, and everybody. So, of course, I got involved with him, and then I ruined my wonderful career, which I had a top career with MGM.
Why?
Because those years you could not have a scandal. And George Sanders, Barbara Hutton, Porfirio Rubirosa, Gabor, it was headlines much bigger than a policeman for 6-8 months all over the world. And so I started to make pictures in Paris. I speak 6 languages. Did pictures in Germany, England. And so I started my career in Europe, which is wonderful now because I work all over the world. But then I loused up a wonderful starting career. Lily, lovely to look at, Moulin Rouge, one picture of
In the
life.
United States.
In America, yeah. Then I came back and I started on television, which went well, and then I played nightclubs because I had to support my child, Francesca Hilton, because Hilton never gave me nothing.
Not a dime.
The rich Hilton, he was so stingy. Gave me $220 a month, spending money. I had to buy my clothes, take his rich friends out for luncheon, and dress the child. So, I decided I'm going to show him that I can make quite a bit of money.
On your own.
And done it, and thank God, too, because I don't depend on no one.
Now, I want to ask something. Recently you came out and said that you had had an affair with JFK.
Not an affair. I went out with him 6 months, but I never slept with him.
Why
I'm the only woman in
now
Hollywood
did
did
you,
it.
why now did you come out with
Oh, no, because I'm writing a book.
it? Is that why? Yeah.
Well, I didn't come out. They wrote it. Delacorte publication bought my book, and they write about everything. And there's a very silly writer in California who's going to kill me now, Jim Baker, who wanted to help me write the book. And he says, you must say you slept with Mr. Kennedy. I said, well, I can't say I slept with him because I didn't sleep with him. And so we broke up, and I have a wonderful new writer who doesn't let me. I say the truth. Mr. Kennedy took me out. Jack took me out for about 6 months. I was in between Conrad Hilton and George Sanders, and I was madly in love with George. But I lived in New York, had a house here, and the baby was very small. We went to Store Club, we went to 21, the theaters. I must say he was very nice and sweet, and he never was like they describe in books that he was jumping on all the women. He behaved like a real wonderful gentleman with me. Maybe he was afraid of me. I was only 19. I don't know. And
You've had about 3 lives in one life,
Yeah,
I think.
really.
I am more, 7.
Maybe 10 or 12.
I know. Well, I was
Really?
married in Turkey when I was 15. I was ambassador. So I went to school in daytime. Evening I entertained Tito, De Gaulle, and people like that at 15.
You have to make a
Well,
movie of your life.
Yeah,
Good luck
it's told already.
with this. Yeah.
Sir John Wolfe, who made African Queen and Moulin Rouge, bought it already. He's going to make it.
So we're going to find out everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost, yeah.
Almost. Few secrets.
Gabor,
Gabor,
everyone.
Thank you for coming up. Meet tricks for dressing beautifully for your height and body type. You'll look marvelous, darling.
Stay right here.
Thank you.
A decade of